And we're live.
Welcome everybody to Earth to Ravencast episode 25. Today we have Ryan Rogers athay interview because he's been wrongly deplatformed. How you doing today, Mr. Ryan Rogers? I'm just gonna call you Ryan Rogers for short.
Hey, you can call me Ryan. You can call me Roger.
Well, based reality.
You can try to pronounce my last name if you want. And
Athayer?
yes. See, look, educating Americans, it's impossible.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah, we're not really the brightest, especially not me and Trident. That's just our dynamic, though.
It's all right.
Oh, all right. So
It's your strength. Don't know much about yourselves, so you have great times. You don't let it bother you.
Oh yeah, man. I've just
So for people in the stream that don't know who you are, so why did you get taken down off of YouTube?
Apparently, I harass and cyberbully people.
Which, watching your Rumble stream, you are like a very nice person. I don't see how you'd be harassing people.
Like, you do make edgy jokes, I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of the jokes you make are not harassment at all because you're not threatening anybody, you're not sending violence to anybody. You're just criticizing and making jokes, and it seems like people like Alyssa Marconte and a bunch of lefty liberals did not like you joking, and so they decided to flag down your channel. And YouTube, for some reason, took their side and is being an asshole.
I always speak my mind, gentlemen. That has never changed. Some people find it humorous. Some people take it seriously, and others take it too seriously. I just try my best to keep on going and keep on growing. This is an exciting new chapter on Rumble.
So what exactly made Alyssa want to flag you and take you down? Like what is it that you said that she got so ass-mad?
Well, there are a few things that the bitch herself clipped. One was when I called her a stinking digital prostitute. Another,
I saw that. That was funny as fuck, and I approve of that because it's she is.
Yes, that's the thing about me, gentlemen. I always speak my mind, and I try my best to tell the truth with available information.
That's what a lot of people. That's what I feel like we're lacking on the internet nowadays. People speaking their mind and telling the truth. They either want a sheep, they want to be like sheeps. They want to just follow what everybody else is doing.
Absolutely. Another was when I said her natural habitat is on her knees.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
There's also a back too. I mean, abortion's a 2 for 0. Might be 3 to 0 before.
Oh, dude.
But one, go on.
I'm gonna say this about the whole abortion thing. I'm very mixed on it because it's like I'm not a woman. I'm a man, so I don't know, man. I think men should have at least some right in the decision, but ultimately, I can't really make that decision. It's not my body.
I'll make it clear. I don't know whether it's a blessing or a curse for Mercante to not have children. I think the thing that got to her the most, gentlemen, is actually the most innocuous of statements. That statement was very clear, very concise. Bitches like Mercante do not leave. They have to be pushed. I think that got to her the most.
I don't take it.
It got to the heart of the matter.
I know what she was doing. She was talking about the whole spear chucking comment you did on that one stream.
I found that funny. I said it. And during that whole controversy, I maintain to this day that as long as I find it funny, I'm going to say it. even if my colleagues don't find it funny. And they didn't. And they told me so. They still stuck by me.
And that's the thing
I
too. It's like
by
you
them.
cannot. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
It's
interrupt.
fine.
But you can find something. You can't like you can make a joke that I disagree with, but it doesn't mean you don't, because everyone has different sense of humors. Everyone's morals are different, and America's supposed to be a free speech thing where just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean it should not be allowed. That's something a lot of leftists don't follow. Is
You're
they
cutting out
think
a
like
little,
just
Triton.
because you don't agree with it that it should not be allowed. Wait, I am cutting out.
You are.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, sorry about
Okay,
that.
welcome to the reality-based takeover of whatever this show name is.
Raven Cat.
Is this better? Hello.
There we go.
Sorry, is this
Yeah,
better?
sorry. Triton's on a phone right now, so
No,
something.
and not only that, but it's storming. But anyways, to finish my point, just because you just with a joke, it doesn't mean like a joke should be gone, taken, reported, and flagged down off of YouTube. Like that's just stupid.
It's also quite tame. I mean, recently I've been telling jokes about, you gotta be careful, right? Sweet Baby Ink, you gotta be careful, especially when Jewish creators go after you. 'Cause those guys, they bomb hospitals. You're a sweet baby.
Oh,
Okay?
Um,
They're not
so
beneath bombing the hospital you were born in, that sort of thing. And even that I'd consider a bit tame.
I can't remember her name, but the person we were just talking about,
Alyssa.
Alyssa, she was the one responsible for Gamergate 1, right? And now she's trying to get Gamergate.
No, that's actually Anita Sarkeesian.
Okay.
Very similar woman, but not nearly as hateful.
It's just
more like bitter on her end.
okay, yeah, because like I swear they're both so similar. You know, they're both like hags that have like fucking horrible political takes, in my opinion.
Silver Knight makes a very interesting point, although it is an incorrect one. They're both cogs in the same machine, not the same person, but they represent the same system. And that, to me, is the crux of the matter. Creatures like Mercante, creatures like Sarkeesian, creatures like Brian Wu, who I always believed was a tranny demon and is, they are symptoms of the problem rather than the problem itself. The problem is the industry, the entertainment industry, the games industry, the entertainment establishment, as well as the media institutions. They are the problem. The only solution to that problem, I had a good talk with Byron of Sidious earlier today about this. The only solution to that problem is to tear down the institution of entertainment, and it gets replaced by the entertaining capacity of we the people, such as yourselves, Jim, name but a few.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, like we need to we need to burn down the industry and rebuild it again, but reform it to something new and better.
Well, that would be the idea. It's just that we're moving into a direction in this day and age, guys. And you've probably seen it with the latest EO3, where entertainment can just be made and released, and it's indistinguishable from the art form.
Yeah.
We're getting to a point where entertainment, just like media, being democratized, and it's hard to monetize that. So the industry can't eat financially because it costs too much and they don't have the quality to match it. Whereas technology is filling in the creative void thanks to the people, as well as the people who made the technology.
And that's why we're getting horrible movies.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. I mean, like,
Yep, that's
yeah. I mean, and look at the like, and like, look at like, I'm a big horror movie person, right? Like, technology is taking the fun out of the special effects when it comes to horror movies, right? It's like I went to go see a horror movie 2 weeks back, and I noticed that like the CGI just looked horrible, man. And it's like I like having the real looking explosions. It makes the movie experience feel worth watching.
Well, even the movie experience itself is an old concept. I mean, first Hollywood film birth of a nation. I think it was pre-World War One for Americans.
What
The
was it?
industry as we know it, the industry as we know it, is a very old thing. It's over 100 years old. If a person was that age, they'd be dead by now.
Oh yeah.
Same should be true of the institution itself. It's showing its age. It's had its time. Let it fade away.
I see what you mean.
Like it's had its time. It does need to fade away, and we need change
We need
for
to.
sure. We need to change in gaming and online and in our society in general, especially in America, because Alyssa Mercante is in America, and this false flag and shit should not be happening in a quote unquote free speech country.
It's so funny, guys, because of course, being in the United Kingdom, the authorities watch you like a hawk, and of course they found out I got deplatformed, and they took it in stride, and they found the whole situation quite funny.
The authorities did. They're
yes, the same authorities that black bag people for hate speech violations found it funny that an American content creation website deplatformed a creator before they black bagged him. Because they make it very clear, as long as you have a majority audience that's not in the UK, and speak your mind. As soon as the UK audience becomes your majority audience, that's when they black bag you, which is a colloquialism for get rid of you.
Oh.
So they found the whole situation quite funny, and they made it clear to me that what you do doesn't violate any of our policies. Best of luck to you on another platform.
So it was more like a platform thing. So it wasn't like a excuse me. So this is what I'm a little confused, right? So basically, oh man, hang on. Sorry, I was
Take
trying
your
to
time. Don't worry.
Oh, let me ask this. So, to get back on the so what started your whole beef with Alyssa Mercante and all the people that have flagged the channel down? Because was it have you done content on them before?
Oh, it's very simple. She was the topic of the day. I gave my thoughts on what she was doing, running for Sweet Baby Inc.'s cover, and she decided to put me and a few other creators on a hit list.
Yep.
That's when it started, and it's escalated ever since. My response to being put on a hit list, gentlemen, is to try and connect everyone on that hit list together, and I largely succeeded in that effort. And we built a community full of talented people, and brought in some fresh blood. One example, don't worry, one example be that of Mr. Nobody, a fresh blood creator I helped to platform along with Smash JT, who made such an impact into the mind of Mercante that she put a 12-page extension in her lawsuit just to cover Mr. Nobody.
It's like I've been saying about Britain and Canada and those. They're just one step away from communism.
Well, the mindset. It's all about the mindset. Because let me make this clear to you guys. Only a United States website has deplatformed. The British haven't for now. Canadians haven't for now. Why? Because although it's not implicitly stated, it's inferred that if the majority of your audience is from a certain nation, then you are bound by the rules of that nation.
Oh yeah.
If I had a majority British audience, I have to follow British rules. If I had a majority Canadian audience, Canadian rules. But I have a majority American audience, so I have to follow American. And folks, It was Americans who fucking deplatformed me. So I know there are plenty of problems in my
the
part of the
crazy part
world.
too.
Yeah, the nation about free speech, and yet they screw over somebody else because they want to fuck because they don't like someone else.
It's because Google's controlled by leftists.
Like the loaf.
If I was
And Americans don't know how to regulate companies either. They let the companies do what they want. But go ahead, Ryan.
Well, if I was, say, Chinese, and if I take off my glasses, I can do a good Chinese look. But if I was Chinese, living in Red China, making videos about the state of pop culture, and I had a majority American audience, I would be bound by the rules of the Americans. And could you imagine a Chinese creator deplatformed from YouTube over speaking their mind on American pop culture? It would cause a fucking uproar.
Tell me something.
I do have one thing to say about that. If you were in China, you'd be having to deal with the Great Firewall of China and the Google's situation regarding China.
Well, I thought there's certain parts of China where you could still access YouTube. Like I watched this one creator; she lives in China.
You can access YouTube in China. Just the thing is that Google filters out certain shit so the Chinese can't see it. Basically, anything that's considered revolutionary or blasphemous to the Chinese government is censored out.
Yeah, because if they don't send it out, they will get blocked and lose business from China. They do that with other countries as well.
Oh.
Silent.
So how is Rumble been doing? So you said you've been going on the Rumble, and I saw tweets and clips of you saying Rumble is much better than YouTube. How so? If that is true.
Oh, it's much better. Life in exile is wonderful, gentlemen. And my colleagues have been angry, they've been annoyed, they've been frustrated. Smash JT took it the worst because he thought it was an injustice. I see the bright side of being deplatformed, of being exiled.
When I saw you on Rumble, Trident sent me on your streams, and I'm like, yeah, you look like it looked like you were a lot happier there. Like you looked really,
Of course.
like you found your place. I mean, these content creators need to realize, Smash JT and them, you kind of need to realize that it's always best to have a backup platform, right? I do, we do Ravencast on here, and I do my own show, but I also do a Twitch show. It's just kind of just in case, because you never know with YouTube.
Silver Knight Warrior show.
Yeah.
Well, although
I do a podcast,
there are a lot of things about content creation that the audience don't know about.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of burdens to what we do that the audience may not realize.
Censorship.
The best thing, yes, even from my own colleagues. But the biggest burdens that have been lifted for me personally is that I have more free time. I can't be on anyone's shows, especially the more prominent creators, because they'll get wiped out. I can be on underrated shows such as this, and I have more free time. I can pursue my own creative endeavors, and I don't have to worry about my colleagues and what they're doing as much because I'm in exile.
And also, what I've noticed too is that you had you're able. It seems like you've made a group of people that have come on your Rumble stream, so it's you're not by yourself. You're kind of doing your own thing. God damn, I don't know.
I hope you don't take offense to this, because I don't know if you know Ethan Ralph, but you're kind of like British Ethan Ralph, based on Ethan Ralph, and that's what is the Rumble.
Traded.
Yeah, I remember Ethan Ralph. Tried to get him on Reality Based a few times, but our schedules...
We've actually got him on here before.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we had him on a couple months ago.
You have a good time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had a great time. He was
We-
based as fuck. He went off on the chat and he just put A-logs in their place and told him what's up. He said a lot of terrible shit, but we did not get flagged down, so it's okay, you
Oh,
know.
that's good.
Yeah.
I have a contact
Like I don't
list
care
of
about edgy
creators.
humor and shit as long as we don't get like taken down.
Oh, don't worry.
Even if we do, I'll just go to Rumble because that's already had that planned up. Because in case like if YouTube gets taken down, I plan on taking Ravencast straight to Rumble. So I don't trust Twitch. I don't trust Kick either because Twitch is worse than YouTube in my opinion, and Kick is just they have double standards. But Rumble's the only platform that I don't really give a fuck.
I'll tell you this, guys. Kick is great if you want to sell gambling to children, but I will make it very clear. I have a contact list of creators that goes into the hundreds, so I can speak my mind and bring more people into the arena, such as yourselves, for example. I mean, here's 3 contacts right here, right now.
Oh yeah, man. Hang on, I was just reading chat for a second.
Yeah, it's just good that you're speaking your mind, speaking about the deplatforming and all that. But the one thing I really do like about you is you're not giving up because there's a lot of people like Gideon. When Gideon got deplatformed on Twitch for just saying El Ratio, he was begging for it back and apologized to Pokimane and said, "I'm sorry for offending you." Instead of apologizing to Alyssa McConaughey, double down and stood your ground and move to a platform that will actually take you for who you are. And that is really respectable. And that's what you should do. That's what a lot of people that be under attack should do as well is, move to other platforms and do your content. Like don't just, don't try to go because YouTube's not the only option. Definitely not. There's several platforms out there. There's Odyssey, Kick, like this.
Gentlemen, you never apologize. When I called a black man's game company, Spear Chucker Studios, millions of blacks, like a Mordor army, came after me and my colleagues, and my response was to stand by what I said, and I'm of the mindset today, never apologize. Never. You show weakness doing what we do. You show weakness doing what we do, gentlemen, you'll be torn to pieces, if not by the opposition, then by your own fucking colleagues.
And that's the thing, too. It's like, these people use that apology against you, be like, it's fake, it's bullshit. Because I've apologized to people before, and I've made that dumbass mistake, and those people just use the apology against me. So it's like when they bait you to apologize, they're just baiting you to show weakness just so they can kick you while you're down. They don't truly care about redemption or change or any of that at all. They just want to kick you while you're down. That's why you should never apologize. That's why you should never bend the knee. That's why you should always double down and stick to who you are. Stick by your statements. If you say something, stick by it. Don't flip flop. Always stay true to yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you're not true to yourself, then you're not really a real person. You're just a bot.
What is your
robot. You don't have real emotion.
So, what is your opinion? Like, I mean, not opinion. How do you know Smash JT?
How do I know him? A viewer recommended him to me, and I gave my thoughts on him. Made him a rising star. A good 18 months before he popped in terms of support. And then, once he became the centerpiece of a controversy, I introduced him to the Bigotverse, to Hypno, and to his community. So that's how we crossed paths, more as a result of circumstance. And a lot of my contacts came courtesy of the audience recommending people to me, or creators reaching out to me, or me reaching out to fellow creators. That's why I have a contact list of creators in the hundreds, despite the fact that I peaked as a creator in the low thousands. My contact lists could make even the most prominent of creators blush.
Oh yeah. You must be down, sir. You have such a beautiful voice. Like his accent is just amazing. Like I love like British accents, and I was like, man, like
It's like honey to the ears.
yeah, it really is. Like just hearing you talk, you just have this beautiful English accent, man. Like I'm sorry, but I had to just bring it up because like
I'm back. Sorry, internet keeps fucking up. I'm currently out here in Reailty, with the storm's passing, but the internet's still going off and on a little bit. That's why I've been off and on. But you know, you do make a good point too. It's just so weird that Americans are the only ones that really have like these deplatforming issues on these online platforms. Because like if you go on the UK platforms, like hell, there's like Russian sites that allow worse shit, like the most unhinged ever. Because my manager Nith recommend like show me some of these Russian sites that allow this crazy shit, no moderation whatsoever. And those are not supposed to be the free speech countries too. Can you?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, but I think you got the gist of what you were saying.
I am back. So sorry about that. Still.
sorry, I got a cinnamon one. I, oh shit, where'd he go? Hello?
He left. I don't
What
think he
the
left
fuck?
because he.
Thanks. Trident? uh, Trident? Oh, hey, you back?
Yes, I am black.
Oh god.
What
Yeah.
happens when you get Wi-Fi from the post office, ladies?
Shit.
Yeah, I hate dead air. When Smash does it, I'm like, you need a fucking co-host, man.
Yeah, we tried to do dead air. But I have a
now I
problem.
think Triton's having some technical difficulties. That's why it's so quiet.
Yeah.
You should take over the show. That's what happens when a host is incapable. Their regulars have to take over.
If you don't get one of the questions we put down, if you don't get back on YouTube, will you keep grinding on it?
Oh, I'll keep making videos and hosting shows on Rumble. As for YouTube, they can go fuck themselves.
Understandable, man. I mean, there's no fucking point. One of the questions we had. Sorry.
One of the worst, just to let everyone watching know, the worst thing that could happen to me now is being welcomed back to YouTube, because I've already adapted to my current situation.
Yeah.
Is this?
What is what keeps you motivated to keep streaming and to keep going at the Rumble game?
It's because I've always wanted to speak my mind and have good times and good talks with fellow creators. I'm always interested in learning new things. One of those new things is, what the hell is this game?
It's called Limbus Company.
Yeah, he likes to play games when he's in VC. Yeah.
Where did I go, Triton? My signal shat itself like a Ugandan sailor.
Yeah, but I think it's nation to keep. It's your fucking enemies, bro. They're coming after us. They're coming after you and Triton's Wi-Fi signal. I swear, man. We usually don't have. Sorry, man. We usually don't have this many tech issues, but today is a fucking disaster with Discord. Apparently.
It's all right. I'm one for bloopers and for technical difficulties. I don't hold it against fellow creators.
Thanks, man.
I'm I'm not a fan of professionalism anyway. I think it makes us susceptible to the opposition's corruption.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's the thing I kind of like too. Like I understand we're kind of we act amateur, and but I do like that, you know.
We need more grounded places like this show.
Yeah. We need if you ever get on another question, because Triton's still having some issues. If you don't ever get back on you, oh, yeah, I already read that. Sorry. Um, do you think that she should have a platform to host false
I,
flagging
I,
camps?
I've always differed from my colleagues,
Can
gentlemen.
y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so should a listener they still have a platform, like even though like she uses it to go after and deplatform others?
I differ from most of my colleagues. Most of my colleagues believe that the opposition should have a platform to air their grievances. I've always been of the mindset of law of nature, motherfucker. Kill or be killed. Simple as that. They want to destroy us, then we should have every right to destroy them.
Fight fire with fire, baby.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause that's the thing. It's like if you don't want to be to a platform, you shouldn't deplatform other people. You shouldn't go after other people if you don't want people going after you.
Exactly. It's like a nuclear
So
weapon.
these people need to learn. Exactly. Like,
The
let's say
opposition.
if the United States
Yeah, go on.
nukes Russia, Russia would nuke us back because we did it first, and they would have a right to.
Exactly.
And I feel like if people start flagging us, we should be have a right to flag them. Because I know a lot of people like Smash JT and then they try to be professional and say no, we shouldn't go after office. Why when they are not professional, when they're going to these dirty tactics? Like the
That's why
right,
moderation.
a lot of the right does need to stop being soft.
Yeah, it's moderation. It's appealing to the moderate center, and it's not going to work, folks. Compromise is not the way we should move into the future. We should be encouraging people to be themselves and to speak their minds, not moderate themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like everyone should have a right to say what they want, and that's the thing. It's like if you trying to take away people's free speech, your free speech should be taken away. And I think like Alyssa Monconte should lose her platform because she is a danger because she will use her platform to flag anybody, big or small. And we shouldn't have people like that on our platform.
Yeah. I'm entitled for people that have their own opinions about other people, but like the moment you start deplatforming and abusing your power to do so because you feel indifferent to somebody else, it's kind of a shallow move in my opinion.
Look, this is what happens when you go after what can best be described as a radioactive cunt. I mean, that's what we're dealing with, folks. And she's just the symptom of the problem. She's not the problem. She's just a symptom of it. In the same way that cancer is the disease, and a symptom is you vomit blood. Okay, she's not the crux of the issue, but she is one of its more egregious symptoms.
It's definitely the industries itself that allow this kind of thing. They encourage this too. She's just like a minion and a side character, and the industries are like the main villains. Yes.
Yep. Which is why I differ from some of my colleagues who think that the industry can be reformed. They see a few good shows and they think, "Oh, don't worry, we can reform these institutions and make them great again."
Yeah.
They're either incompetent, which I do not believe, or they're climbing the greasy pole, hoping to get a higher position in the new order.
No, I have a question for you, right? Your old colleagues from YouTube, like Smash AT, do you think that that you've gone a different direction than they have, or do you think you're still in the same like sphere as they were, like on your side of the internet?
Well, since I'm in exile, I can look at this from a far more different perspective. Because you look at the bigot verse. There's a section of the bigot verse that likes me very well, like Hypno, Smash, Bell, and a
Yeah.
few others. And there's also another side to the bigot verse who at best tolerate me in public, but privately are most likely celebrating my deplatforming. But you can't kick a man while he's down, gentlemen. At least you can't be seen doing that. Do that, and it's those colleagues of mine who are much more moderate. It's those colleagues who want to give the industry the benefit of the doubt and think that it can be reformed. Especially one such colleague who always has to have the last word in his name, after all.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing too. It's like, how do they think that they could reform the industry from what they've told you, or from what have you heard them say?
I can answer that question, my good man. Support what is good and oppose what is bad. And then from that, we'll get more of the good and less of the bad, as if the fucking opposition listened to what we have to say.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about what we have to say. They they made up their minds and they're never gonna change their opinions. So there's no point of trying.
That's the
Because all they're
irony,
gonna
man.
do is just use it against us. Like if we try to be a good faith, they still use it against us. Whether we're good
One
faith,
example
bad
of
faith.
this, yes, one example of this, though, gentlemen. You seen Thunderbolts?
Not
Oh,
yet,
it's the
but
best
I'm
film.
planning.
It's the best film since Endgame. It's not a fucking high bar.
Yeah. Is it I mean, is it like the old Marvel movies where it's like decent, or is it like good for like
No,
the
it's
new
just
era?
wank. Wank. It's like budget Avengers. It's wank.
I'm gonna
Yet
start.
people will support this wank because they want to make
Wink.
the MCU great again, not realizing it's an old man that shat itself.
Yeah. So we have a couple chatters right now.
That's
Oh.
good.
Our manager says the strength and survival of the week of the fuck's he talking about?
Hold on, let me look and see what he says.
Yeah, man.
The strong. Okay, hold on. I know what he's talking about. The strong survive, the weak perish. That means people with the strong minds are gonna live and survive. The weak-minded are easy to go. Like they're not gonna be there long because they're weak. They're too weak to be around, basically. The strong survive. The weak doesn't survive out there. Like if you need to survive the world, you need a strong mindset. That's basically what
Plus,
he's saying.
you need a strong mind, especially in this day and age where psychological warfare is prevalent in our communities. And for me personally, I'm just going to do what I did before. And just like before, I'll keep on going and keep on growing and resonate with a new audience. That's why I say this is an exciting new chapter on my creator journey.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of content are you planning on making on Rumble now that you're exiled from YouTube?
What I do, my good men, is that I make videos, I make shows, and I make videos from said shows. So the more shows I host, the more shows I guest on, the more videos I can make about topics of the day, as well as topics that I'm interested in. So expect to see this in a future reality-based video. And from this collaboration, there's a piece of reality-based in all of you, gentlemen. Now, I know that sounds a bit strange, but it's the truth. The truth is reality-based. That's what I do.
Truth is reality-based and
very helpful.
Because you got to be based in order to survive this reality. Because if you're not based and you can't handle there's people that can't handle if you can't handle words at all, then you can't survive this landscape at all. Because, like, how can you not handle words? Like, cause people, like our ancestors have handled worse. They've handled people getting killed and fucking heads chopped off in the fucking Roman ages. But then you got people in 2025 that can't handle being called a bitch or a retard or a fag or any of that. They get mad and cry, get suicidal over words these days. It's like, why?
I'll tell you this, my good man. Words are weapons to a fragile ideology. Simple as that. Ideological warfare. The opposition is the same as physical warfare. So when you target their ideas, it's the equivalent of targeting their physical war. So when you undermine their ideas, it's like undermining the person. Personal is the political. So if you destroy their ideology, by their logic, they can just kill you. And they have. They have destroyed and killed those who have been damaging to their ideology. Because ideological death, the opposition, is the same as physical death. In fact, you could argue that it's worse for them.
You could. I mean, you're not wrong because you could definitely argue it is worse.
Yeah.
But when you look at these people, they all have the same thing in common. They're all beholden to an ideology, a left-wing ideology that puts the ideas ahead of the people, not the people ahead of the ideas. That's why it always fails. That's why millions die.
Do you have any plans of writing? Do you have plans of ever writing a book covering your full ideologies and what you believe in?
Oh yes, I like
be good off.
writing. I like writing a lot, and especially since my deplatforming and exile from YouTube, I might as well write down my creator journey from my own perspective.
That's good. Are you currently writing a book right now?
Yes, I've written about 7 pages.
That's awesome, man.
Is it finished, or is there still more pages to be added?
We're still covering late 2021, early 2022. It's going to be a very dense book.
I'm planning on writing a book, but it's probably something different. I'm doing like a fantasy book type of thing.
If you don't mind sharing, what is the title of the book?
Oh, the title. Let me just get it so I can read it to you. The title is My Creator Journey, Reality-Based Retrospective.
I like that. To the point. It's symbolizing your brand. Dude, when that comes out, text me, say when it comes out, because I'll buy it, man. Like, because I'm interested to.
I'll be like John De La Rose. Buy my book. I'm a furry. Buy my book. I pretend to be a woman. Buy my book.
Yeah, imagine like you dress up like a woman. No. You put those like face mask on, like the like they use in movies. Buy my book. I'm not J.K. Rowling. Buy my book.
Know how many times that snake oil motherfucker has been like, come on my show, Ryan. We're not afraid to have you on. It's like, dude, you're so transparent. I can see the knife behind your back.
Yeah, you can just see the knife right there. Like, he's not even a good backstabber. He just has it right there. And you're like, bro, you have it right there. Like, why am I going to come close to you? Like, why am I going to come on the show just so, because it's obvious that you're just going to start shit and fucking, it's not going to be over.
I'd rather talk to criminally underrated creators such as yourselves than make a martyr out of a snake.
100%. Because at least us underrated creators will because one good thing about unprofessionalism is we let you say whatever you want, however you feel. We're not going to tell you. We're not going to tell you, oh, you're wrong, go fuck yourself. Like, well, very open mind. Like, that's something good about small creators. is we're very open-minded people.
Yeah,
Because we have nothing to
playing a
lose.
game.
Advertisers yet.
Who is playing this game, by the way?
Me.
Glitch. Torrent of Anger. Torrent of
You are
Anger.
doing a better job reviewing a game than Alyssa Mercante ever would.
Yeah, because she's not even a gamer like that. She's just a fake gamer. That's all she is. It's just a fake gamer. She doesn't even look like the type to play video games at all. She looks like she's never touched a controller in a day of her life.
Yeah, that's right. And that's actually what a lot of these journalists are like now. There was one story recently about a journalist who took like 4 hours to get past the tutorial in the Tomb Raider remaster. Can you imagine?
This is our manager, Niff. He wanted to ask you some questions.
Yeah, he wanted to
Have
call
a
in because he's at
manager.
work right now, but he wanted to pop in.
I've been, I'm like busy working right now, but I've been hearing the whole stream. I'm glad to have you on, Ryan. Honestly, like
Thank you.
It seems like your sorry if there's a bit of noise, but your ideology, your thought process, the way you see the world seems very enrooted, seems very rational, very like to the core. You say it like it is, and I love that when we have a guest on like that.
Oh yeah, you speak your mind.
And honestly, whenever you finish that book, man, I'll end up buying a copy.
I'll buy a copy too. I would. In fact, I'll promote it too. We'll promote it on the show.
Yeah, we'll promote your book every stream we can.
Even if it's years in the making, so I know it's probably going to take like years to make, but shit, it's worth the wait because this sounds like something that needs to be in the world, like your ideologies and stuff. Because we need people just to speak out and actually tell the truth and not get offended over words and all that.
What the opposition don't seem to realize, gentlemen, is that we live in a global world, which is ironic considering they're globalists, and that us connecting with one another is no different than men and women on the street connecting with each other. It's just the plane is different. It's not physical plane, it's the digital plane, like a different dimension.
And I'm a strong believer that as long as people can sit down and have a conversation and like words can pretty much help stabilize or talk things out in most cases, if not all cases. But the thing with a lot of the opposition, when you really look at it, is they might be willing to come to a table, but they'll never come to an agreement. Like you can sit there and rehearse everything over and over and over again, explaining to them everything wrong or everything that they've caused. And at the end of the day, they don't give a shit. And they don't care because at the end of the day, they already made up their mind a long, long time ago, and change is hard.
I'll tell you guys this. You cannot break bread with people who hate you and want you dead.
No.
You have to understand the mindset of the opposition. The mindset of the opposition is rooted in the Cold War. It views the United States as the enemy, the American people as the enemy, a nation that bombs children and uses chemical warfare on civilians, and also kills indiscriminately and utilizes attack helicopters to blow up schools and nurseries. Yes, the U.S. has done that in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Vietnam. That isn't what America is about. They mistake the people for the institution, which is ironic, considering that these creatures have infested the institution.
They mistake the military complex for all of American
By the Arabs hate the Americans because they are under this delusion
we are
that everyone is the same within a nation when
that's just simply not the case.
Growing up, like I had to learn that because like even I'd say recently, like I have friends on Discord that live in other countries, and they're like, "Don't you realize you kind of live in this bubble, right? Like the U.S. We're kind of in this bubble of news and information." And then I look at the other world and I see how they reflect on us, and I'm just like, huh. It's like fucking crazy to me how we're so up our ass and believing in our own, shit, our own
Well,
thoughts.
the big factor of that, Silver, is a lot of the governments like to limit and decide on what its citizens and what its people get to see.
True.
Something America doesn't really regulate as much. It still regulates it. It still is just as guilty of that, but it's not as strict or enforced.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, but that goes hand in hand. At the end of the day, I think that's pretty much almost any country is going to limit what its
There's a good
people sees
question
and doesn't see.
There's a good question in chat from Muffin McFlurry. How much will your book cost?
Who's Muffin McFlurry?
Well, I never thought of.
I think it's one of Triton's IRLs.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my IRLs, OG supporter of Ravencast.
I never thought about publishing it, but it's good to see enthusiastic support. Knowing me, the cost to publish it will be more than the cost of the book. So whatever the publishing cost is, plus $1. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
like
no
it's all
matter
that's
how
all
much
up
you
in the
charge
air
it, I'll pay you.
hypothetically. Yeah, that's up in the air
Book will
hypothetically.
cost
You got all the
$500,000.
We're talking about pounds, euros.
Only those able to change the world can acquire the book.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
We're gonna send a copy to
Like 500 million for one book, for one copy.
Yeah, Jeffrey Bezos, fucking
Musk.
the royal family.
The Rothschild.
And you open the book.
The Rothschilds. The Rothschilds.
You open the book, and it says "Get fucked, bro."
Fuck.
With like a beautifully well orchestrated artistic middle finger. First page.
Yeah, sorry for dragging you from work, man. I just want to make sure you were able to come on.
No,
yeah, no,
yeah, like
DM me and said he wanted on.
Yeah, I've been watching pretty much the whole thing, and like it got me thinking about a lot, honestly. Like a lot's changed in my life personally, and since then it's like the ideologies and the shit, the mental warfare that you're describing, the opposition, all of this, it makes a whole lot of sense when you really look at it. When I was younger, I was a lot more aware of it, of this whole thought process. I was more aware of like all of the dangerous shit that gets passed in our country, a lot of the dangerous shit that goes on in the world. But like over the years, I kind of faded away from that because focused on my life and shit. But I think hearing this like whole interview and like you properly explaining or describing all of this just brings me back. I'm not gonna lie. To realize that, at the end of the day, it's not up to not one person can change the world. It's the required force for everyone to kind of boycott or take a stand on things.
For everyone to take a stand and actually take action.
You can't just lay down and get kicked. You got to get back up.
Right.
You got to get back up.
Very
And also, you got to encourage everyone around you to stand up too, stand up for themselves, and try to at least. Like, you don't gotta force them, but at least like put the word out there. Like, hey, you should stand up for yourself. Hey, you need to stand up and not fall into the institution.
That's why it's so important to showcase these ideas to the next generation. Because the institutions that exist today did not deserve to exist
even five or 10 years down the road.
They are, because the more out of date something is, the more destructive
manipulated it becomes. Manipulated and destructive, yeah.
Manipulated and destructive, yeah. Exactly. And these institutions were out of date when I was born 25 years ago. I was born in 1999. I will be 26 in about 3 weeks. So they were those institutions were out of date then. They're even more out of date today.
Yeah. I was born 2002.
Oh my
I was born
goodness.
2005. My
9/11
birthday was
baby.
actually this Saturday.
Yeah, here's the thing. When 9/11 happened, I was still in the fetus. My mom always mentions that story to me. She's like, I was pregnant
So
with
I
you when
can't-
9/11 happened.
I was watching it on TV, dog. I was
I
in first
can't
grade.
Yeah,
ask.
same here.
Hold on, wait, Ryan,
can't-
what were you on 9/11?
Well, I was watching it as a. You stole my line. I was watching it when I was a baby, and I watched as the second plane went into the tower. I thought it was a TV show, and I
I
celebrated.
think a lot of people did. That was
Oh my
like,
God,
it
you celebrated.
was
Well,
too.
let's be honest though, too. Tried you're asking a British person about like American terrorists.
No, I know.
Well,
I know.
Well, I was 2.
Yeah.
I just want to hear. I want to hear the outside perspective, though. That's why I asked, because I want to hear like someone from that's not in America.
No
Hold on.
offense, Brian, but
Where
you
were
look
you
like you're
during
25.
9/11?
You look older. Dude, Trident wasn't even like a thought yet, bro. Like Trident's only 20. Like when Trident was born,
Wow.
there was like
Actually, I think he's 19, but still.
no, he just turned 20 like dude last
Oh
week.
yeah, that's right. I forgot.
July.
Old man brain
My
not working.
July is my 30th birthday, and so like it's got me
thought you were
reflecting
turning
on a lot of
35.
things. I'm turning 30. Don't make me older than I am.
I'm the one that's 34, dude.
I'm back.
We like to try. You were talking about professionalism earlier, and then like when it comes to the show, I like to try and keep things to where like it's pretty like semi-professional and like everyone kind of gets along like a family. Like there's gonna be fights and arguments on occasion with the people in the show or you know like on staff, whatever, across the board. But at the end of the day, I think everyone. Yeah,
That's why you
at the end of the day,
don't bring on attractive women.
One thing we've learned as people as well is like people come.
Actually, yeah, we did have we did. He said that's why you don't bring attractive women. Yeah, that did happen one time. We got in an argument afterwards.
Yeah, like we're never bringing e-girls on the show again. No e-girls. That's the rule for RC. No e-girls. Sorry, e-girls.
Keep them on a short leash, gentlemen.
On a short leash, definitely.
100%.
Right? Did you get my DM?
Put him on a. Yeah. Yeah, we're still going to 9.
All right.
Yeah. By the way, we'll be ending the show in 5 minutes. So, but we can still keep going now. But I enjoyed this conversation. A lot of truths, a lot of eye openings, and a lot of like motivation to fight the opposition. So I've had these same thoughts like growing up too, like seeing the internet stuff, just seeing the opposition just turn like kick people while they're down. See so many people submit to the opposition. It's like I don't want to be like that. That's why I created Ravencast, so I don't submit to the opposition, so I could be myself and be different from my colleagues. Because my colleagues are kind of like the same way. Some of my colleagues I'm friends with like to submit to the opposition sometimes. They like to submit because they think it benefits them. And I tell them like it's a bad idea, and they argue with it. It's like, no, it'll look good in the wrong run. It's like, no, it's not going to help you in the wrong run. They're going to stab you in the back if you. And they're like, no, they won't. The opposition won't stab me in the back. It's like, yeah, they will. It's like you never ever sell your soul to the opposition. Go ahead.
One thing I learned in like the 30 years I've been living, the fact that pretty much everyone or anyone that's out there to help you or claim to help you at the end of the day has a knife in their hand as well. And
I naturally assume everyone's out to get me. Everyone.
Yeah, I mean, and that's pretty much that's a normal thing to think nowadays, considering how much worse shit has gotten in the world when you really factor it all out. Like I've seen I've seen people getting fucking killed and stabbed in a fucking Walmart over a fucking Pepsi, for fuck's sake.
Wait, really? Over a Pepsi? When?
Yeah.
What color were they?
No, I was like 17,
hold on.
16.
Answer his question.
What color were
Yeah.
they?
There's a white dude trying to get the Pepsi and a black dude with a knife.
Oh, God.
It's all so tiresome.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, that's just one example of when I was living in Texas. Like, growing up in different parts of the U.S. over my life. I was born in California. We moved out of that shortly after when I was like 8 or 9. And so it was before California got real bad. But then we went to Texas, which is mostly red. I fucking loved it there, but it was a melting pot, like a racial melting pot. And then where I'm at now is like blue state, but it's not as bad. Like it's more southern. I'm in the outskirts. I'm in like the southern side of it, so it's not really that bad.
I've had I was born in a red state and I still live in a red and I moved to a red state.
Lucky bastard.
Yeah,
but no, I've had
he's having internet issues.
Yeah.
He said his signal in the UK is not really good, so he's been like jumping in. Oh, there he is.
All right.
Yeah, the Muggles have been the.
No, that was my fault that time. I pressed the wrong button.
It's all cool, man. So we have 1 minute left of the show. I want to thank you for coming on. I definitely think that you were an interesting guest to have on, brother. We'd love to have you on in the future.
Yeah, by the way, I'll DM you off air, but I will keep in touch and send you some topics we can cover together in some future episodes that I think you would like, if you're interested.
Oh, that sounds great, and you're all welcome on Reality Base.
Your opinion?
I'll call in. Yeah, I'll actually call in too, because my friend Ghost, one of your viewers actually told me that I should interview you because they like your show. His name is Ghost of Cletus in the chat.
Oh,
he's actually in the chat right now. Yeah, Uncle Cletus. He's the one that told me about Ryan. He said that me and Ryan would get along.
I'm gonna say this before we end. I definitely like your philosophical look on a lot of political issues, on YouTube, on Rumble, on just in general. You're a great guest, and we'd love to have you on in the future.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said,
all right. Now with that being said, I'm gonna do the outro. Special shout out to Ryan, Roger, Athaya. Thank you for coming on. Shout out to Glitch for coming on. Shout out to Silver Knight. And shout out to Ness. Shout out to everyone for coming on. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on notifications. And we will see y'all in the future. Peace.
See you Saturday. Saturday stream. Bye.